We've all been there. You dialed in all week and suddenly you messed up your entire training and nutrition plan for the whole weekend.
The next day could be more detrimental to your progress than the night out itself.
You're not going to lose progress from 1 week off.
No.
Yeah.
The problem isn't necessarily the night out that's ruining your progress. It's what you do after.
My biggest thing for people is not having to give up anything in your life, and you can still make great results.
In this episode, I sit down with Alex Fletcher, coach, hybrid athlete, and someone who spends way too much time in London pubs.
Your whole life can't revolve around the gym. Time in the gym is like an hour a day, 5 hours out of the week. So it's everything outside of that makes the most difference.
We get into everything from bodybuilding prep and burnouts to how to actually make progress in the gym without giving up your social life and pints on the weekend. And why most people think they're training hard, but really they aren't even close.
People push to failure what they think is failure. But if you were to watch them in person, it's like you've got at least 5 or 6 reps in you, or you've got an extra 15 kilos maybe that you could be lifting.
I'm Cameron Neal, and this is the Midweek Motivation Podcast.
First off, I have 2 questions to lead this conversation for today. I'm not a big football fan, but I did have a look at the scores recently online for Man United, and I just want to check, are you okay?
The last 6 weeks have been better than the previous 6 months before that. So currently, yes.
Okay, good.
But if you had asked me 8 weeks ago, I would have said no to coming here today.
Fair enough. Yep. I mean, I know it's been it's taken a while to get this podcast off the ground. It's been a highly anticipated episode on my end. That probably explain a lot of things. But we don't have to go into detail. All right. Question number 2. What are your honest thoughts on me transitioning with a mullet?
You are Australian.
I am.
So it seems like a natural transition. I think. Yeah. But I like to think I have the influence on it.
Okay. All right.
You see me almost every day passing downstairs or at Fitness First. So I feel like I'm inspiring you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we'll leave it as that.
Would you agree?
Yeah. We've got lots of topics to get on today, so we will move on there. But in all seriousness, no. Alex Fletcher, fitness.
Yes.
Who are you, and what do you hope to get out of today's podcast episode?
I am a fellow Southern Hemisphere goer from New Zealand, living in London like yourself. Been here almost 3 years. I think the same time as you, September 2023.
We're coming up 2 years.
Around about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
so maybe a year ahead, yeah. And I work as a fitness coach in person at Fitness First in F45 and an online coach. And my biggest thing for people is not having to give up anything in your life, and you can still make great results. And I think I'm a pretty good example of that, considering how big the drinking culture is in New Zealand and Australia and over here, but then still made great results over the last couple of years. So I think that's what I'm trying to prove to people.
Yes. Do you think there is a difference at all in drinking culture between UK and the Southern
Something
Hemisphere?
I've always said to people is, I think back home, we probably drink more in a sitting. But yeah, exactly. Yeah. When you put it like that, it sounds bad. But then over here, I don't think I've ever drank more frequently.
Yeah.
Like I would never catch myself on a Wednesday night back home drinking, or like a Sunday at the pub. Just wouldn't be in question. Whereas over here, it just seems like someone asks you, like, yeah, okay, I'll just go.
Yep. Like even last night, I had 2 gin and tonics, and we had Thunderbird chicken after having hot trivia.
On a Monday night, yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a bit different though. Like back home would be very much Friday, Saturday night and heavily, but then you just pay for it for the next few days. Whereas over here, it's go out for another couple on a Sunday, and it's like, yeah, why not?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you think that's better?
I think it's easier to track, for sure, if you're having less. We all know that once you get to that certain limit, right, can't really track how many you're having after a certain number, or then the food that you're having with it. Whereas I know if I go out on a Sunday and I only have 2, the likelihood of ordering takeaways after that incredibly small, compared to if I've had 10 or 11, then it's the Uber Eats is definitely getting confirmed that night.
Yeah. That's actually a really good point. Yeah. This is why exactly I have you on for today's episode. We're talking a lot about gains that potentially could be lost, but also not having this mindset of all or nothing with everything. So tell us more about your background into fitness, gym, anything like that, and where has that kind of taken you now?
Well, I was always played football, soccer, football for, watching that's not from outside of the world. And then I guess the natural progression when you realize that you're not going to make it in football, you go towards the gym. And then I fell in love with the gym. Went to university and studied sport and exercise science with the thought of still being involved in like sport and doing strength and conditioning and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I realized you can't go into that straight from university, I went into personal training and then fell in love with that. Did that for 3 or 4 years back home while going through my own kind of fitness journey. And at the start, it was very much teaching people to not make the mistakes that I initially made in the gym, whether it's like technique or eating or things like that. And that's where I started to teach clients that I was training. And then as I got older, then you kind of have that shift in thought of your whole life can't revolve around the gym. Like that's like you'd probably say to your clients, the time in the gym is like an hour a day, potentially 5 hours out of the week. Like it's barely anything, right? Yeah. So it's everything outside of that makes the most difference. But then you don't want those hours outside of that consuming the rest of your time. So you've got to be able to eat what you want, go out and do things that you want to do, and then just like take notes of that throughout the rest of the week.
Yeah, that's a pretty good summary. I like it. So you talked about some mistakes that you started. So what age did you start the gym?
I mean, I've had a gym membership since I would have been like 13.
Wow.
So that's yeah. Maybe it wasn't 13. Maybe it was 15. Could have been 15 back home. But I think the first maybe like 5 or 6 years would have been, you'd claim that you had a gym membership, but whether you were actually a gym goer was up for debate. Mm-hmm. And then it would have been maybe when I was 21, I think, came out of a relationship and then kind of took it a bit more serious, as people do, that post breakup lock-in. Kind of got into it there and then never really fell over after that. Just became part of daily routine of eating and training. And I think once it becomes part of your routine, right, it's easier to stick with it when it's just like you don't think about it as much, you just go and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say it's maybe a lack of motivation that just when you've had the membership for years that weren't really taking it seriously?
Yeah, motivation, but also knowledge as well. Because when I was like 15, what would that have been without exposing how old I am? So 13 years, like TikTok definitely wasn't a thing. Instagram Reels definitely weren't a thing. So the knowledge was face to face from people itself. And I think when you're 15, 16, you're not really going to go up to someone and ask for their help. As opposed to now being older, you're more confident, but also you can find a lot more things on social media to help with that lack of knowledge.
Were you a shy person?
Yeah, younger would have been.
I definitely was.
I've definitely improved. I think having a self-proclaimed good physique definitely helps with your confidence that you can like express yourself.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, definitely not so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what are these mistakes that you were making?
Well, the biggest one would have been when it came to nutrition was like when you wanted to drop body fat, that it was like you eat nothing.
Yeah.
You just eat nothing but protein to make sure you've got that to keep your muscle.
Yep.
And then you just starve yourself for the rest of it. So I was having like lettuce bun instead of like a proper burger. Mm-hmm. And it would have like a peanut butter sauce on it because like fats had to be high. It was bacon. There was no carbs. But then you finish that. And then within like 30 minutes, you're like, okay, I'm hungry. Or why do I have no energy for the gym? So then I was like learning that carbs are, in my opinion, rule everything. I think you need them almost as important as maybe as protein, I think, when it comes to energy. That was probably the biggest mistake. Second one when it came to training would have been not training heavy enough or even like anywhere near your failure. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of people that think, and I've always said this online as well, is that people push to failure what they think is failure. But if you were to watch them in person, it's like you've got at least 5 or 6 reps in you, or you've got an extra 15 kilos maybe that you could be lifting. So those are probably the two biggest ones to start off with.
Yeah. And then, so okay, it's 21. You're like, all right, all in onto the gym. Then what happens? What were the big gains that you were making?
Oh, within the first couple of years, I got insanely shredded. But that was without the knowledge of how to do that without crashing out of it. And I think the goal at that point was like before a summer festival. And I remember getting to like 5 or 6 days before and I caved in. And on one day had burger fuel, which I'm not sure you guys have burger fuel in Oz. No. I'm trying to think what the options are here. In-N-Out. Maybe similar to In-N-Out.
Yeah.
But quite good New Zealand burgers. Had that, Krispy Kreme, KFC, and then I think Nando's all in one day.
Wow.
So it was like in excess of like 7,000 calories. But it was just like, no, it's not worth it. It's not worth being this lean when I feel like this, because it obviously affects your hormones and things like that. Completely caved in, and it's like, didn't lose all the progress over one day, because we know that's not how it works.
Yeah.
But then it just showed me that there's a more sustained approach to it, like when it comes to fat loss, to the point where you don't have to avoid all of these things. Woke up the next day and I was even more shredded, because you'd be so dry from everything.
Yeah.
So you think that it worked, but then you still just feel like shit. So yeah, that was probably the biggest blunder that kind of taught me a lesson throughout it.
Okay. Nice. And then how long was this before you entered your first bodybuilding competition?
So that would have been at 23 years old. And I think I competed when I was 24.
Okay. Not too long
I
after.
think. Yeah. So got with my now fiance.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Like the May after that, I'm getting real shredded and then eating all that food. We got together that year and into the bodybuilding show pretty much straight away, which credit to Brooke. First 10 months of our relationship, I was on prep. Like, that was a good test.
Wow.
That was a good test of a relationship. Absolutely. Because then we could only go out for dinner once a week off plan.
Yep.
And the off plan meal was what my coach said I could have. And a lot of the time it was just burgers.
Yeah.
So there was no going out to like a nice Italian restaurant or things like that. It was whatever he said I could have. It was that quantity. It was from that restaurant. So again, credit to Brooke. It must have been 2022 that I competed.
Yeah.
And that was the first one. That's the only one.
First and only.
First and only so far. I'm not sure if I'll do one again. It's just almost like any competition or anything. It just consumes your life. Like, especially when it's so nutrition focused.
Yeah.
It's different than like what I'm training for now, or high rocks, things like that. You can do things outside of it. But this was like, if I have a weekend of bad eating, it's like you're now a couple of weeks back when you need to be like stage ready. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to aesthetics, that's the hardest thing to really train for.
Yeah, because it didn't matter how much I could lift on stage.
Yeah.
It's how much I lifted leading up to it, or how much I ate. But like, how much you can lift on stage doesn't matter. It's how shredded you got and how good your posing is and things like that. Yeah.
What was the biggest surprising thing that you found when, let's say post competition, and why that maybe that's a big factor why you wouldn't do another one?
Because you can, like, the difference between how shredded I could get at that time when aesthetics was the goal, and on the comp day wasn't like a crazy difference. Like, you're only a few % less, but you're not starving yourself or like having to commit to it quite as much. So when you look at like comparison photos of, say, like a really good physique that I might have had, and on the show day, when you notice like how much commitment there was to one compared to the other, you wouldn't really say it's worth it for the average person, when it's not the end goal. I don't want to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
That was just the goal at the time.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Like, some people like myself can sustain, say, a sub 10 body percentage all year round. But yeah, if I was to compete, like, it'd only be like a couple of percentages. That would be,
Well, it's like
too.
5 or 6 on average for like a natural lifter would be on stage, I think. So it wouldn't take you long to get there. And the thought is now, like, the physique that I have now, if I wanted to get there, I'm at a stronger starting point than I was last time. So I probably wouldn't have to do a full 10 months. Still be a long amount of time, but I wouldn't have to commit to it quite as much as previous.
Yeah.
You think you'd ever do one?
I think I'd like to try one some point, but like, this would be, post weightlifting, or like if I'm taking a break from competing, just like something different. But that's why it wasn't part of one of my challenges last year.
Okay.
It's like the amount of training required, it would actually probably affect over my performance weightlifting.
Yeah.
Especially like the whole cutting side. So.
But then you would, because you were doing one every month.
Yes.
You would have almost had to do, this one would have been like in the background for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well,
like, it's not one you could commit to on like September the 1st and do it on September 30th,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of happened in the end anyway, just with the whole running. Like, I was pretty much running the background for most of it, just to get my mileage up. But taking a break off all those challenges.
And how's the shoulder? So we posted.
Yeah, I know. So last Monday, I was having a great session. Snatched 90, and I was like probably just shy of what my opener would be for my comp this Saturday. And then, finished off with a dumbbell shoulder press. RPE 7, leave a couple of tank cut, brought it down, and just felt like massive crunch from my joint. And I was like, oh.
So it was the bodybuilding exercise that got you.
Yeah.
It was not the putting a huge amount of weight over your head and behind your head?
Too many reps.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I saw my car yesterday, and basically she said like I've actually done something to my rotator cuff, and the front part of my shoulder just inflamed.
Okay.
She's not too concerned.
Okay.
And it's hopeful that I could still compete.
Yeah.
So we're going to try overhead today, see how it goes.
And when's the competition?
Saturday.
It is this weekend. Okay.
Yeah. But thankfully, I'm not too far from my body weight goal, so I'm just going to do a water cut again. So which has actually worked out well because then I can have, still maintain its calories, but use that to help recover.
Yeah.
And then we'll just go from
Fingers
there.
crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Give a decision in a few more days.
Yeah. How often are you seeing her again before?
No, I won't.
No.
So yeah, this will just be off me how I feel.
Yeah. Well, even on the day, if you weren't injured, it's on how you feel, isn't it? Like.
Yeah, I mean, cause we're making a whole weekend out of it anyway.
Okay.
So because it's out of London.
Okay.
So yeah, we've got accommodation and transport. So
you have to go anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, one day try bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm.
I've got High Rocks coming up, doing doubles.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of it for now. I got Athex Games in August.
Yeah.
Copenhagen, so that'd be kind of cool.
Nice.
That'd be a good one for you to do actually, because you get you really get the different modalities of strength, endurance, and that anaerobic component.
I'll just see how much I want to train for something when I've got a triathlon and gym.
Okay. So let's move on to this. So you're in triathlon, or you soon be a triathlete.
Yeah. I want to do everything. Like I want to do at least one of everything. So I did the High Rocks this year, ran a marathon last year, almost nothing for 3 years prior to that before between that and the bodybuilding show. But I just want to, prove to myself that I can do everything, like run, and now I got to prove to myself I can swim. Did the bodybuilding one, did the High Rocks, so that's the goal at the moment. Mm-hmm. Went for my first swim last week, and pleasantly surprised that I can swim.
That's good.
I can go the full length of the pool, but whether I can do that for 1.5 kilometers, that will be. I guess we'll have to wait until June. But
so you got an event that already signed up for?
Yeah. Haven't booked the ticket yet, but it's in the diary, and it's on my mind to train for.
It's an actual open water.
Yeah. It's in Windsor, so like the Windsor Castle.
Oh, yeah. I worked on that one actually. Yeah.
Oh, you done it?
I worked on it when we first moved.
Okay.
So yeah, that was cool.
It's open water, but it's not like waves and stuff going through.
No.
So
it's actually technically the Thames.
Yeah, I did see that too. Which I wasn't too keen on, but I know it's like when you're that far away from central London Thames, it's the kind of water you can swim in. I'm pretty sure.
They also supposedly test the waters, but
we'll see if it's like the Paris Olympics when people are coming out from the water spewing and quite sick. Hopefully not.
So I guess that's your weakest one at the moment.
Absolutely. It's the shortest one, but it's also like in comparison to the other ones on how fast you go, it's probably quite similar in terms of length. Like you're not swimming anywhere near how fast you run or bike.
Yeah.
But it's 100% the weakest one. But I can do it. I can swim. That's the important takeaway.
Do you know why the swim's first in a triathlon?
I'm assuming some kind of health and safety thing.
That's the one.
Yeah. If you're absolutely knackered at the end, you're more chance of drowning, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't want cramps happening.
Yeah. It's probably a good thing. It's like when I'm doing the High Rocks and then you realize wall balls is last is just like cruel, but nothing's going to happen to you when you get to wall balls. Like there's no risk of anything.
No, maybe a heart attack. But...
Yeah. that could be throughout the race too. But I guess when it is a risk, like mentally as well, if you've just done a 40k bike and a 10k run and then you realize you got to swim, you're just going to be like, no, I'm just going to stop.
Yeah. Well, that was like part of the whole controversy with the whole CrossFit Games.
Yes. I did. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need to go into politics here.
No.
But,
yeah, I think we spoke about that a while ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, since you said, want to do everything, I guess CrossFit, maybe weightlifting on the cards at some point.
Potentially. It would only have to be once we get back to New Zealand because we sadly leave this year in September.
Yep.
But who knows? Yeah. It'd be good to try and do at least once.
Well, you did try, a little opening session with me.
Yes. Yeah. And I'm still editing those videos.
Yeah, it'll be published
here.
Link. By the time it's live, you'll be able to...
A lot of pressure. Actually, the first one's almost done. I've split it into two.
Yeah.
Like one being the clean and jerk, and then another video being the snatch.
Mm-hmm.
And the clean and jerk one's almost done.
Yep.
Yeah. So it'll be up there.
Nice. If you didn't have to go at the end of this year in September, let's say you had another year on your visa, would you stay?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. Our reason for going home was that like our decision was made up for us by the visa ending.
Yeah.
But if it was like, say it was a 4-year visa, or if we were only at year 2 out of 3, would be staying.
Yeah.
Like we always said, would do the full amount of time. But with the work that I do, it's harder to get sponsored, like working in a couple gyms, both being part-time. You almost have to have one pay for your full sponsorship, which is a lot of money for that extra year.
Yeah, definitely.
So we're almost glad that our decision's made up for us. Because if it's not, then I feel like you end up sticking around maybe longer than you'd hoped for. So kind of makes it easier for us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What about you guys?
So first and second year now, we'll do the third, and then we are open to staying longer, but
Yep.
I think it just depends. Because like I can stay longer with the passport, but
Yep.
yeah, I think it depends on the options that
Yeah.
I guess my partner's work would offer. Or
But also it's a commitment too, isn't it? Because some of them would only do 3 years.
yeah. Or if you pay the partner visa, it's like a lot of money. I don't know.
Yeah. I think if you can make it worth it with like what our goals are for like travel, then it is worth it. But yeah, if you're not going to make it worth it, then obviously it's not.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey, just a quick announcement before we return to the podcast. If you're someone who's been feeling a bit stuck lately, maybe you're switching careers, rebuilding your routine, or just trying to get your life together, I get it. That's exactly why I write the Midweek Motivation newsletter, where every week I share real, honest thoughts on training, mindset, and the messy process of figuring life out. Especially for guys like us, we're in our 20s and 30s, just trying to get ahead in our careers, fitness, and performance. It's short and it's personal, and it might just give you the push you need during the middle of the week when it's least motivating. You can subscribe using the link in the show notes below, or go to substack.com and search up Midweek Motivation. All right, let's get back to the podcast.
Have you been tracking your countries?
We have. Yeah. We use that Bean app.
I've never heard that.
No, it's one of the. Do you?
No.
Oh, it's just an app where you just. Oh, yeah.
Rolling tally.
It's just an app. You just add plus and then just put the country in that you've been to. Except our only rule is that we have to have had a drink in that country.
Fair enough.
So we've done that for all of them except one, and the one is the Vatican City.
Okay.
Because I think you can drink in them in like some of the cafes, but we were only there for like 45 minutes, so we just didn't bother. But everything else we've had at least one drink in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've got the app, so it makes things easy to track.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there what are the top ones at the moment that you need to cross off?
We are hoping to go to Montenegro.
Oh, nice.
So that's on the list. We're hoping to do a boys' trip to Cyprus.
Yeah.
But given the current political state of the world, that one might be off in June.
Yeah.
I mean, we would have loved to go to like the Nordic countries, but they're so much more expensive than every other country.
Yeah.
So the rest of the list is for Southeast Asia on the way home, and we've got about 9 or 10 countries
Nice.
planned for on the way home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how would you manage nutrition, training around traveling? Because that is a big common question, I guess. I'm sure definitely your audience as well. Because you obviously want to have a good time. But how do you do that without slacking off completely off your goals, but also, making sure that doesn't actually consume your holiday?
Yeah. I mean, the benefit of going on holiday is that you're already going to like double the amount of steps that you have per day, which is like I always say is the easiest thing you can add to your regular day to help with your fat loss or help with your like not gaining fat. So it definitely helps when you get back and you've already had 20,000 steps a day compared to your regular 10. That helps massively. But then biggest thing would be sticking to like the number of meals per day that I normally have. So I'll have breakfast, I'll have a snack of some kind of delicacy in that country, have a lunch, have another snack, and then dinner. But then just on one day, then I have to try every single piece of food that country has to offer, right? You're not going to go to, like, if you're going to Italy, you're not going to have everything they're known for in one day, in one sitting.
Yeah.
You spread it out over lunch and then dinner and then the snacks and things like that.
Yep.
And that's going to easily keep you under your calorie allowance for that day, I think. But then at the same time, you're there to travel. You're there at that time isn't to lose fat. So it's something that you can worry about after, but also worry about it before. So a bit of planning before your holiday goes a long way. But then also after, if you need to take a few days of like a slightly lower calorie balance, then I think that's going to be better for you than stressing about it while you're on holiday. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of use that as a little deload for myself. So
Yeah.
rather than having them set into the program, then I would kind of use that time off to just either just not train, or if I get to a hotel gym or something, then just, I mean, most of the time it would just be like bodybuilding exercises and stuff. But
we always take like a pair of gym stuff with us, and then depending on if there's like a gym that we're signed up to in the UK that has one there, or if they have a hotel one, then it's like we always think about it. Most of the time it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But I think that that should be even like the saying as well. Like even as like a fitness coach, I was like, I don't stress about training on holiday. If it happens, it happens. But the night before, if we end up having a few drinks while we're experiencing a new city, in the long run, that's going to be better for us than one gym session at 6 a.m. on holiday in the sweltering heat and things like that. So yeah.
And then holiday aside, strategies that you would prescribe for yourself or with your clients for, let's say, losing fat. That's quite a common goal for young men.
The kind of people that I generally coach, the biggest focus or the biggest struggle is what to do on the weekends. So I'm an advocate for like calorie banking throughout the week. So if you know you've got something huge on the weekend, and I say huge by like, say a party or whatever it might be, that you know is going to involve eating out, drinking and things like that, that by reducing like 200 calories a day over the like 6 days leading up to it is like 1,200 calories that you've saved. And then that's 1,200 that you're below what you need for that weekly average. So then technically by the numbers that we think, you'd need 4,700 calories. Because I think they say 3,500 is like 1 pound of fat gained.
Right. Yeah.
But that's on top of your maintenance. So because I've saved 1,200, I now need an extra 1,200, so 4,700 calories on top of my maintenance that day to even put on 1 pound or like half a kilo of fat. But the more you can do that, then I think the less you're going to stress about it on the day. But calorie banking would easily be the biggest strategy, I think.
Yeah. And what are other challenges that your clients typically face?
Getting back on plan on the Sunday. So if you've had a night out on the Saturday or had a night on the Friday, is when you wake up the next day, it's like, don't go onto your phone and order Uber Eats. Whatever is on your meal plan that day, get back onto it.
Yeah.
So if I've given people a meal plan and it's like 6 different days, I'll always create 1 or 2 of those days as a weekend focus. So where the breakfast is more of a cooked breakfast, something that is a lot nicer to eat, and it's not overnight oats or things like that. Something that even when you are a little bit dusty or something like that, you're going to be more looking forward to that, and it's going to be easier for you to get that down if you're not feeling too great in the morning. But I think starting that day off strong is sets you up for the rest of the day. Even if you lounge around and don't get a workout in, at least the nutrition side of things is still like taken care of.
Yeah, no, definitely. You don't want to be just like, you've had this big night out and you're like, the next day you completely abandon everything. You're like, oh, so I've already gone over,
Then it becomes 2 nights out, technically. Like you're the next day arguably could be more detrimental to your progress than the night out itself. Like if you've had, I don't know, 7 vodka sodas, that's only like 700 and something calories or 800 calories. But if you then wake up and order Uber Eats twice, that's now 2,000 something calories over what you'd normally have. So could have easily been avoidable just by getting back onto your plan the next day.
Yeah. And are you a big fan of calorie tracking?
Every now and then, if I'm introducing like new meals to my rotation, then I'll calorie track those meals for like a little while. But I never track. I mean, I technically do track because I weigh pretty much everything, but I don't track it in an app with like my protein and things like that, because I know with my oats I'll have a scoop. With any chicken meal, it's 100. I'll have 130 grams. If it's beef, I'll have 200 grams. So I don't technically track those, but when I'm doing like a new carb source to go with it, I'll track that with what I'm going to add to it, so I understand where that puts me on an average day for my calories, and then that pretty much stays the same every day, unless the goal is to drop body fat. Then I'll do 20 grams less each day, or something like that. But never too meticulous in like the exact numbers on it.
Physique wise at the moment, are you happy with fat levels?
You can always be leaner.
Yeah.
But no, definitely. I mean, we've had a quieter first couple of months of this year in terms of like social outings and eating and drinking and things like that. So the physique's had a good a good point, but trying to get it a little bit leaner before summer because it's our last summer. So I'm definitely prepared for there to be a lot more things going on before we go home, and the World Cup will be on. So you could be at the pub every night. Who knows? I'm just a human. I'm just human.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Muscle building strategies. Let's talk about that a bit more.
Protein in every meal. I think as much as people say like there's a lot of talk about that online, but I think it's super important, not just for getting to your macro target for the day, but we know protein keeps you full for longer, so then you're less likely to snack. Hitting that target, I think I always say to clients, like, more importantly, I want you to hit your protein before you hit your calorie target. Like, we can improve the calorie target easily, even if we need to have a few sweet treats and things like that. But for most people, they don't want to have just a protein shake, right, late at night. Whereas if you've got the protein throughout the rest of the day, then I think that's going to be, it's easy to like focus on other things for the rest of that night. But when it comes to training, I mean, train to failure almost every set. We're not trying to compete in anything. So we need to watch that risk of injury. But if you're doing it safely, I never see a reason why you shouldn't train near enough to failure for every single set.
Yeah. It gives you the workout actually it's a lot more efficient to do that rather than adding heaps of sets, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll do 2 working sets for every exercise, but they're 2 working sets that are, like I rarely ever drop the bar because I would generally have someone there to help spot.
Yeah.
But I can guarantee that they're like those 2 sets are going to be better than someone's 5 sets on something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those are probably the 2 biggest factors.
So you're a 2x2 guy rather than 5x5.
2x2, yeah. Definitely, yeah. 5 is just, when I think about that doing squats, if I'm getting to my if I'm trying to improve the big compounds, if it's like working to a heavy single, it'll be back off sets of 3 to 5, but it'll be 2 of those. And when I've done 2 of those, I'm like, there's no way I'm doing 3 more of these without it taking an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So like the amount of time you got to rest in between when it is like a 1 rep max or a 3 or whatever is just so long. So as soon as I've done those 2, I'm like, okay, get me off this squat rack and get me something more isolated after that.
Favorite split?
I mean, right now I'm doing 2 full body sessions only because I'm doing run and cycle and swim each week. But classically it was push-pull legs, as I think most people are when they first start out. I used to do bro split, but upper lower I think is probably my favorite.
You're at twice 2d4.
Yeah. Upper lower, and then if I've got a day where I'm doing like a conditioning session or whatever, then I'll do like arms at the end.
Yeah.
Just because that's always fun on like a Friday or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And then, so the high rocks are done, triathlon coming up, and you're all kind of set for kind of the next 6 months then.
That'll be it, yeah. So it's 14 weeks until the triathlon, and then it's summer. And I don't really want to be training for something too crazy during summer.
Yeah.
Especially when we leave in September. We've got a lot of money we need to save up for this holiday.
Yeah.
And I feel like every time you commit yourself to any kind of event, there's things you have to buy. You end up eating more food. You end up having to buy all this equipment, all these accessories. And it's just that's money we know can go towards this holiday at the end of the year. So, yeah.
And then when you get back, what are you currently thinking what you'll do?
Well, we land in New Zealand on the 20th of December.
Just for Christmas?
We were told we had to be home before Christmas.
Yep.
I wanted to stretch it out until the 24th. My mum said no. She said no because you'll be too tired. And then Christmas Day will be a bit of a write-off. So we thought we'd come back on the 20th. We're going to apply for jobs in Australia while in those last few weeks of travel. And then depending on what happens, we could be in Australia within a couple of weeks of getting back, or we could be there in a few months.
Yep.
It just depends on what's available.
Yep.
But Sydney seems like a good place for fitness coaches and that fitness lifestyle.
Can vouch for that.
Yeah. And after living in London for 3 years, I want to be near the water.
Yeah.
Water you can swim in. I do love living in London, and like even just walking along the Thames is nice. But the fact that we have to, catch an hour and a half flight somewhere to go to a nice beach, or whatever. Respect to the beaches in England, but if you want to go to like a good beach, then Europe's realistically the closest place to go. Where it's going to be warm. So it'd be nice to not have to do that and be able to walk 10 minutes instead.
Yeah, definitely. And coaching, that's something you want to like push in for?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's something I fell in love with. I didn't think I would when I first started personal training.
Yeah.
But I definitely do. Enjoy just helping people. Again, he's like, you'd agree. There's nothing better than seeing someone's face when they've achieved a new lift or even just new progress, things like that. It's just like you almost feel it as if you've achieved the same thing, like when it becomes that like teamwork kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just a good feeling. So, yeah.
Nice. Well, we can start to wrap the podcast up from here. Any sort of topics or things that maybe we haven't touched on but you'd like to share to everyone? Last words of wisdom.
I mean, a good thing to focus on, again, a lot of people talk about it, is like starting your week off strong. But it's like if you've only got 4 sessions throughout the week, I think it's something I'm trying to talk to people about. Even if they have to be Monday to Thursday and you don't train Friday, Saturday, Sunday, that's better than saying to yourself, I'll do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then sacking it off Friday, Saturday. Like as much as your body is an intelligent thing, it doesn't know that much when it comes to like taking those few days off. If you've provided that stimulus for those other days, then you're still going to get where you want.
Yeah, you're not going to lose progress from 1 week off.
No. I mean, we took almost 3 months off when we came over here because we did travel around Europe. We started off strong, going to the gym every like 3 days, and there was probably like 2 months where we didn't train.
Yeah.
And then I can probably imagine it's going to be the same when we travel through Asia. There'll be a couple months where we just won't do anything, but I can guarantee you'll get back to New Zealand, and within a few weeks you'll be near enough back to where you were.
Yeah.
And then the final thing I saw a video the other day about is like your body has a clock inside, right? But it's not to the minute, it's not to the hour. It knows daytime and nighttime. So you can't eat carbs after 6 p.m, right?
Yeah.
I saw that yesterday, and there was a guy, I thought he was going to flip the switch on the video and be like, that's what I'd say if I was a stupid coach. But it was like a full video about like, no, you can't eat carbs after 6 p.m. And I was like, this doesn't go 6 p.m. and your body suddenly goes like, oh,
Yeah.
what the hell are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
the end of the day is your calories, your macros, and then getting good sleep and training, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get all
Nice.
those in. Yeah.
Cool. And where can people find you?
Alex Fletcher Fitness on pretty much everything, I think. More active on Instagram.
Yeah.
And Southwest London pubs.
Yeah. Love it. All right. Well, thanks so much for being on the Midweek Motivation Podcast. I had to think of the name of this for a second, what it was. Yeah. Well, we're going to do a round 2, maybe perhaps do a virtual when you get back to New Zealand.
Yep.
But yeah, check out the videos that we do collab on YouTube as well.
Yes. I'll edit them right now.
Yeah. And we'll do a weightlifting trans bodybuilding as well at some point.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks so much for watching or listening.